Alright, Shalom, Shalom. It's Brother Yatazdak here with Israel. I'd like to start off by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Habakkuk, double honors to Yahweh's and apostles, great millstone. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, right? Going into the Hebrew, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Habakkuk, double honors to Yahweh's and apostles, great millstone. Let's get right into it, right? So verse 1 reads, Kaya Yabyaka Yahweh Alahayaka Al Ha'arataza. Right? So it reads, because he brings you in, Yahweh your power, to the land Ashar Atha, which you are going in hither, Ba'a Shema, to possess. La Rashata, right? Wa Nashal Gawayim Rabium Mapanyaka, right? That word Nashal means to dislodge, right? Or actually draw away, right? Like the account when the Most High spoke to Moses on Horeb. He said, withdraw, right? Draw off your shoes, because this is holy land, right? That word is nashal, right? Right. So that's what it means, right? To draw off or to withdraw. But here it's saying, in the same context, when Yahweh Shemel Shai spoke to Moses, he said, draw off your shoes from off thy feet, right? So one the shawl, draw off, and will draw off Gawayim nations, many, Rabium, from before thee, Ma'apanyaka, the Hittites, Chathaya, and the Girgashites, Waha Gargashia, right? Waha Amaria, the Amorites, Waha Kanananya, right? The Canaanites, Waha Parazia, right? The Parasites, Waha Hawaii, which are the Hivites, Waha Yabasia, right? The Jebusites, Shabaya, Gawayim, Rabium, 7 nations, more, Wa Itazawamium, right? More and mightier than thee, Maka, right? Wa Nathanam, Yahweh Alahayaka, Apanyaka, right? And will place Yahweh to your power before thee, right? Waha Kayatham, right? And you will smite them, right, with the sword, Haram, right? Salakia, actually, Wanathanum, Yahweh Alahayaka, Lapanyaka, and will place Yahweh to your power, place them before thee, and you will smite them, Waha Kayatham, Haram, the Harayim, right? So that word Haram means you will lift up the sword to them, right? The Harayim devoted them to destruction, right? Because that's what you do, right? You lift up a sword upon a city, right? Atham, to you, right? La'ah, the Karath, you will not cut with them. Laham, Barayath, a covenant. So that word Karath means to cut, but it means, in this sense, it's saying you will not make a covenant with them, right? Wa la'ah, the Hanam, you will not show them favor, right? The root word is Han, means to show favor, right? So it says, so like here, let me do verse 1. Because he brings you in Yahweh your power to the land which you are going in hither to possess, right? And will draw off nations mightier from before thee, right? The Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations more and mightier than thee, right? And will place them Yahweh with your power from before thee, will smite them, right? And lifting up the sword, you will devote them to them, right, to destruction. You will not make a covenant with them and will not show them favor. Wa la'ah ta chatham, right? Bam, bama, right? Says you shall not intermarry with them, right? But that word, which is the root, let's get that real quick. Like, yeah. That word is kathan. It literally means father-in-law, right? Because, in a sense, to where when you make an, for example, you marry a son or a daughter, you are automatically intermarried within another nation, right? Or people or clan, whatever the case may be, right? Which makes your father-in-law to either a male or a female, right? Whether it be, right, your son's wife or your daughter's husband, right? So it doesn't literally mean intermarry, right? Intermarriage or whatnot. For example, let's get let's see. Genesis 34:9, right? Right, so this is the account of Jacob and Hamor, right, the father of Shechem, right? After Shechem, right, defiled Dinah, Jacob's daughter, right? So he said to Jacob, right, Waha Tachath Nawa, right? Meaning, and you will be will be a father-in-law with us, right? Because when you intermarry, not only do you become a father-in-law to either your son's wife or your daughter's husband, but the other person that you are intermarrying your children with, either their son, right, marries your daughter, he becomes your daughter's father-in-law, and right, or if he marries his daughter to your son, he becomes your son's father-in-law. So that's the whole rationale um, behind that word chatan, right? Um, so he said Shechem, Genesis 34:9, Waha Wahatha Chatanawa, right? Athanawa, right? You will be a father-in-law with us, right? Um, your daughters, Banathiakam, Tathanawa, you will give to us, Lanawa, right? So Banathiakam means your daughters, Tathanawa, you will give Lanawa to us, Wa Atha um Banathianawa, right? And to our daughters you will take Ta Kwakwa Lakam unto you, right? That's the rationale behind that, right? It says Wa La'a Ta Ta Khatan, right? Slakia. Wa La'a Ta Tachan, right? Slakia. I'm bugging. Wa La'a Ta Tachathan, right? Because, right, you always want to distinguish the root word, right, as much as possible, right? So you would say wa la'a tatha khathan, right? Bama, right? You will not make intermarriages upon them, right? But that bathka, right? Your daughters, uh, um, la'a tathan, you will not give to their sons, right? La banawa, right? Wabathwa, right? And right, their daughters, la'ath akwach, you will not take for your sons, laban ka, right? So in the sense, verbatim, it just says, you will not intermarry upon them. Your daughters you will not take for your sons, and their daughters you will not take for your sons, right? Kaya yasayar ata banka, right? Because it will turn back to your sons. Ma harya from uh from after, right? Wa ibadwa, and to serving um uh alahayim, right? To gods or powers, right? To gods others, haryim, right? Wa hara ap Yahweh bakam, right? And will be wroth, his anger, the anger of Yahweh upon you, right? Waha shamayada ka mahar, and he will cause thee to be desolate quickly, right? So it says, because they will turn back to your sons from going after and serving God's others, and will be wroth, um, and will wax hot right? Because that's what it really means. Har means, right? For example, Deuteronomy 28, it talks about part of the plague as being a scathing fever, right? Which is that same word is used, har, means to glow hot, right? To be wroth, right? Um, so it says, and will be wroth, right? And the anger of Yahweh will be upon you, right? And will make thee desolate quickly. Kaya I'm ka da aishwa laham, right? Because if thus, right, you will do to them, right? Mazabach Yathaham, or Salakia, Mazabach Tayaham, right? Their altars, right? You will pull down the Tazwa, right? Because that word, the root word is Natataza, meaning to pull down, right? Wa Matazab thumb, right? And they're standing, right? They're pillars, right? You will break the Shabarwa wa Ashayaraham, right? And their groves, right? You will cut down the Gadaya one, right? Wa Pasayal Yaham, right? And their sculptured things you will burn the Sharap one upon fire, Ba'ash, right? Now let's analyze that word Gadai. Salakia, go back to the 7. Let's get that real quick. Salakia. Alright, so that word Gadai is to cut down, to prune. Right, to hew down, right, to fell a tree, right, because, right, when it reads in Isaiah 14, no feller has come up against us, that word is actually karath. It's not gadai, which is the proper word for a feller, or someone that, right, cuts down a tree, right, in the sense of cutting down, right, cut down, hew down, right. So we're not going to say it's hew or cut, it just means, right, something to cut down, right, cut down, cut off, right. So it just means to cut down, right. Isaiah 14:12. You see, that word is gadai, but you read on. You can look that up yourself. when it says no feller has come up against us, it's actually karath, which literally means to cut. But this word gadah is in the sense of cutting down, right? So it says verbatim, because if thus, right? Because you go from verse 4, which says these right, intermarrying with these other nations, right, will cause your children, right, to turn onto their gods, right? So now in verse 5 it's saying, because if thus, right, meaning if it be so, right, or this is in the sense of saying, instead, this is what you should do, right? Because if thus, you will do to them, right? In a sense of saying, if so, this is what you would do to them, right? Or instead, this is what you should do to them. Properly, that's how you would read it in English, right? Instead, this is what you should do to them, right? Or you can say, right, you know, since we're reading it as it is written, right? Because if thus, right, thou shalt do to them, right? Thou shalt do this to them, right? Their altars, right? So this is how you read it. Because if thus, thou shalt do this to them, right? Their altars you will pull down, their pillars you will break, and their groves you will cut down, right? Their sculptured things you will burn upon fire, right? Kaya am Quadash Atha La Yahweh Alahayaka Baka, right? Because a people holy you are to Yahweh, your power upon thee has chosen Yahweh, Bahar Yahweh, Alahayaka, your power, right? To Lahayawath, Lawa, La'im, to be unto him a people, Sagala, right? Which means peculiar, right? For example, go to the book of Malachi, and we'll see what that says. Let's see, Salakia, right? So that word is not Sagal, Sagala, right? Properly, that's how you would say it, because sometimes the ha is really not necessarily part of the actual word itself. It's just supplementary, right? But let's go to Malachi, see what the book of Malachi says. Salakia, I think it'll show up right here. Malachi 3 and 17. Malachi 3 and 17. Wa Hayawa, right? Laya Amar Yahweh, and will be unto me, right? Says Yahweh of hosts, right? It's talking about the elect. Tazabawath, that means host. La Yawam Amar Anaya Aisha, right? to the day which I will make, right? Make them peculiar, sagala, right? But in the English it says, and they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in the day when I make up my jewels. That word for jewels is sagala, meaning peculiar or a peculiar treasure. Right? Because right, the scriptures say that right, the children to whom Yahweh Shem Yahushai has been given, meaning the elect, right, those that wake up in these latter days and prophesy, right, will be for signs and wonders, right? Like it says in Revelation chapter 11 that what the nations were afraid, right? And this is what you see with right the Kyrie Irving, Kanye West controversy. You have people like Farrakhan speaking up, although right they are they're not speaking on the truth, right? Ronald Dalton, Hebrews to Negroes, they don't have the whole truth, right? Only those, right, that are telling you thus saith the Holy Bible, right? Prophesying, right? Pushing these lessons out, right? Through the power of Spirit of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash, right? Starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, right? Because they have the 100% truth, right? These other camps are not giving you the name. They're not giving you the proper understanding. They're not giving you sound words, sound doctrine, right? They're not telling you what the charagma is, right? And so on and so forth, right? These other camps are solely, right, about just to be seen, right? See who has the most the biggest congregation, right? The most flamboyant of garments, right? When the scriptures say that what we prophesy in sackcloth, right? Meaning it's not about right the outward appearance, right? We have a job and a mission, which is to speak this word, right? And the end is being made manifest, right? So that's talking about right the elect, right? The peculiar people, right? Because 2/3, right, are just in 2022 heading into 2023, right? Still following the ways of the heathen, still right. Although they see all these things happening, right? People dropping dead left and right, right? Talks of war, rumors of wars, right? But they're still right. They have their head up their ass, right? Because they don't see what is clearly happening in front of them, right? These goddamn devils they're not your friends, right? These Edomites, right? Right, which is so-called white man, right? Satan in the flesh, right? The physical manifestation of Satan, right? You have the spiritual demon Satan, and you have the children that do his will here on earth, right? They're not literally demons, but they're moved by the spiritual demon Satan to be wicked, and the Lord created them that way. But anyways, right? So it says Wakamal Thaya, right? And I will spare Eliaham upon them, Ka Ashar Yakamal, like which he spares Ayash a man upon his son, Al Banawa, right? Ha Ibad, Ha meaning he, Ibad he that serves Athawa to him, right? So, right, we do this work, right, to hope that the Lord will spare us as a man spares his own son that serveth him, right? Because you have those that are not out there prophesying, making lessons, right, pushing, right, the true doctrine, right? So our job is to keep, right, keep grinding, right, keep that millstone grinding, and right, which is the rakah, Aban. Racha is is a mill, right? Right, to mill and grind meal, right? Aban meaning stone, right? Um, so you have the stone, right, which grinds the meal, and then you have the platform itself, which is also made of stone, but it is the seat of the stone, which is why it's called in the law rakab, right? So you have the upper milling stone, and you have the lower milling stone, which is called rakab because that is the seat onto which the meal is grinded, right? Let's get that real quick. So like, yeah, almost pressed the wrong thing, right? Lessons within lessons, right? So rachayim, right? A millstone, racha, right? So when you say double honors, right? Um, um, you would say shanaya, meaning two or double, right? Um, hadarium, honors, right? Because hadar means to honor, and the law says thou shalt not honor the poor nor the rich in his contention, right? And thou shalt not incline judgment, meaning, right? You will not incline to one side or the other, right? So that is millstone, right? Shania, Hadarium, double honors, right? La Zakwan, La Zakwan to the elders, because anywhere that ends with a tha or a na, right, is plural. That's already plural, like Akwath, Zakwan. These words are already in the plural sense, right? Um, La Zakwan, um, or so Shania Hadarium, double honors to the elders, Laha Zakwan, and apostles, Waha Shalachium, right? Of great, right? Magadol, mill, right? Rakha, stone, Aban, Magadol, Rakha, Aban, great millstone, right? But here's the precept I was talking about in Deuteronomy 24:6, right? This is the right, diverse laws, right? So it says, La'a Yachabal, thou shalt not bind, Rachayim, right? The millstones, right? Um, while Rakab, right? Um, and the seat, right, of it, because Kaya, um, Sol Napash, it is, um, uh, it is bound, right? Because, right, in the sense that, um, because it is a man's way, right, to grind his meal, right? For example, right? But if you want to read it as it is written, it would be, um, thou shalt not bind the upper millstone and the lower millstone, right? Which is Rakab, because Rachayim, that is the upper millstone, Rakab is the lower millstone, because, um, because it is the life, right? Napash means soul, but it also means life, right? That is um it Kabal mean to bound, right? So when someone owes you money, you don't take their clothing, you don't take their grinding meal to grind meal with, their millstones to grind meal with, because they could make money off that, right? If they're naked, they're not going to be able to do anything because they're naked, right? Instead of trying to pay you back, they're too busy trying to get clothing, right? So the point is, you're not supposed to take that from a man because that was his way to grind meal, right? That was his life, right? Um, so Rakayim is the upper millstone, Rakab is the seat, right? The lower millstone, the nether millstone. For example, right? Um, let's see, lower millstone. Oh, here it is. Salakia. What is a millstone in the Bible? A millstone is a stone used to grind grain. When grain is milled, two stones are actually used: the bedstone or the base, right, which is the rakab, the lower, the nether millstone, which means lower, which remains stationary, and the runner stone, which turns on top of the base, grinding the grain, right? That is the upper millstone, right? The millstone was in fact so integral of a part of a society that the Mosaic law forbade taking someone's millstone in pledge. The millstone was needed to grind grain to make bread and sustain life, so taking someone's millstone would be like taking his or her life in pledge, right? Which is why it says, right, Napash. Um, but you get the point, right? The lower millstone is the base upon a stone which the upper millstone turns, which is the rakab, the base. The lower millstone, the nether millstone, right? Um, right. So actually, let's see what this says. Perhaps the most famous mention of a millstone in the Bible is in Jesus' warning against leading his children astray. He said, "If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for him if a large millstone were hung around their neck and they were thrown into the sea." Right? Meaning, causing a child of God to sin will bring severe judgment. If you would find it hard to swim with a millstone hanging around your neck, you should think twice before tempting God's child. Right? But anyways, so it says, right, kind of got off topic there, but let's keep going, right, through the spirit, right. So it says, because a people holy you are to Yahweh your power, upon thee has chosen Yahweh your power to be to him, to a people peculiar from all the peoples which are upon the face of the earth. La'a marabkam makal ha'amayim chashak. Right? It is not because you were more from all of the peoples, right? It is chashak, meaning to delight. Yahweh bakam, yeah, Yahweh upon you, right? Meaning it is not because you were more than all peoples of the earth, it is because Yahweh has delighted upon you. Wayabachar, and he chose upon you, bakam, kaya atam ha maita. So he chose you because kaya atam, because you right, because you were mayat, meaning little, right? Um, right. So you have what gadol means to be great or to be big, and you have quatan to be small. But here you have rab, which is much, mayat or few, right? Or little, right? So it says, Waya Bahar Bakam Kaya Atam, and he chose upon you because you were the least, right? From all of the peoples, Ma Makal Ha Amayim, right? So verbatim it says, right? Um, it is not because you were more from all the peoples upon the earth that he delighted Yahweh upon you, or Salaki. It is not because you were more than all the people of the earth. It is because he has delighted upon you, Yahweh, and he chose you, right? Because you were the least of all the peoples, right? So in a sense, it's saying the Lord God didn't choose you because you were the greatest or the least. It is because he delighted upon you, right? And he chose you, right? So it's not necessarily saying it in that matter, right? But you get the point once you understand what it's saying, right? So let's read that once again, right? Just so you can get an idea of how to read that, right? When you're going over these type of verses that may seem confusing, right? So it is because you were not more from all the peoples of the earth. Yahweh was delighted upon you, and he chose you. So it's not because of that. Right? So now it continues to say, right, because, right, you were the least from all the peoples, right? So that's reiterating from what was said in the beginning of the verse, right? So, right, you got to keep in mind that la'ah is still it still applies to the latter end of the verse, right? So, right, you will read, it is not because you were more from all the peoples, right? Delighted Yahweh upon you and he chose you, right? It is neither because you were the least from all the peoples, right? So not necessarily you don't see la'ah down there, but the context tells you that it's signifying that as well in the latter end of the verse, that is a reason why the Lord, right, did not choose Israel, right, not because they were the most or the least of all the peoples, right, upon the earth, which it doesn't say upon the earth, but right, the scribe wrote it in this sense to get it as to get as clear and as quickly as possible to the point, right? Because that is the job of the scribe, right? To give the understanding, right, in the most efficient way possible, right? I believe there's a proverb on that which says, right, in the sense of speak few words and make them easily to be understood, right? Deuteronomy 7 and 8, Kaya ma ahabath, right? Or Salakia, Kaya ma ahabatha, right? Because, right, um, because he is loved, or Salakia, Kaya ma ahabtha, right? Yahweh atakam, right? Because he has loved Yahweh to you, right? Wama Shamarwa, and has kept Atha Hashabaya to the which he swear, or Salakia, to the oath, right? Ashar Nashabai, which he swore, right? So really, Shabai doesn't mean oath, right? It just means to swear, because oath is Allah, right? Allah, right? Which means oath, the literal word for oath. But here, it's in a non-literal sense, right? To the oath which you swear to your fathers, La Abatayakam, Ha Tazayah, right? He brought out Yahweh to you, Atakam, in the hand strong, Bayad Hazak, Waya Padaka, right? So there's a reason you don't say Waya Padka, because that word, the root word is Padaha, right? So these are things you have to just keep in mind, right? If you're familiar with the words, then you'll know how to say it properly in a sentence. So it's not Waya Padka. Why? Because the word pada means, so here they translate it as redeem, but it actually means to preserve, right? Waya padaka, and he preserved thee, right, from the house of servants. Mabayati Badiam, Mayad Pariah, from the hand of Pharaoh, Malak Matazarium, the king of Egypt, right? So let's analyze that word. Pada, Deuteronomy 7, because you have three types of so-called redeems, words that are translated as redeem in the scriptures. You have Ga'al, you have Quana, right? Deuteronomy 28 says no man will redeem you, right? Which Quana means to buy and to possess as well, but it also means to redeem, Quana, right? That word Ga'al, which is translated as kin or redeemer, right? Because there's a certain law where you can have, right, your kin redeem certain property, particular right, fields, right, or even a manslayer, right, if a man murdered another man, the redeemer of blood, right, which is all dumb, right, redeemer blood, right. If the judges showed that this man fled into the city, right, unjustly killing a man, they would bring him, right, to the redeemer of blood, and he would slay him, right. But that word Ga'al, it doesn't mean redeem or kinsman, right? It literally means to buy back. So this word Pada doesn't mean redeem. It means to preserve, right? Salakia, I clicked on the wrong one. Here it is. Pada, right? That's why I said Pada, because that's the whole word. Sometimes the ha is supplementary, but this is part of the actual word, right? And Ishmael will tell you that as well, right? That's Pada-a, right? So ransom, right? right? And here Ishmael writes Pada Ha. That's a Ha. And also there's Ethiopic, right, which shows you that there's a remnant of Hebrew in all languages. Ransom, redeem, rescue, deliver, preserve, right? Sound like the Strong's guy. Preserve, right? So, right. And every firstling of an ass thou shalt preserve with a lamb, not redeem, right? If she please not her master who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be preserved to sell her unto a strange nation. Right? He shall have no power, seeing he had dealt deceitfully with her. But the firstling of an ass thou shalt preserve, and so on and so forth. Leviticus 27:29, undevoted, which shall be devoted to men, shall be preserved, but shall surely be put to death. Right? So there you go. There you have it. So verbatim it says, because he has loved Yahweh to you, and has kept to the oath which he swore to your fathers, right? He has brought out Yahweh to you in a hand strong, and he has preserved you from the house of servants, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, right? Wayadai tha kaya lahawa lahayaka hawa, right? No, because Yahweh your power, he is ha'alahayim, the powers, right? Ha'al, right? Ha-na-aman, right? The power faithful, right? Shamar ha-barayath, keeping to the covenant, right? Waha chasad, and to the loving kindness, right? La ahab Yahweh, right? To those that love him, right? Wala Shamaria, and those that keep his commandments, Matazawathwa, right? La Alap Dawar, right? To the 1,000 generation, right? The word Dar, right? It means to honor, right? Adayar means honorable, right? Alap means 1,000. Alapium is 2,000, right? Shania, Alapium is 2,000. You could say that as well. Or you could say Hamashium, Alapium, 50,000, and so on and so forth. Right? Verse 9 says, and know because Yahweh your power, he is the powers, right? A power faithful, right? That's where you get the word Aman, meaning so be it, or amen, right? Or let it be so, right? Or Amawan, right? It means faithful, right? Which is, I think, there's a brother in GMS called Amawan Gabar, which means faithful warrior, right? Right? So he is a God faithful, keeping to the covenant, and loving kindness to those that love him, and those that keep his commandments to 1,000 generation. Wama Shalom La Shana Yahweh Al Panyawa, right? And recompense to those that hate him to their face, right? Because that word shalom means peace, it also means to pay or recompense, right? So in the law, when it says yada yada, you have to pay something back, right? Whether it be because of something that was lost or an item or whatnot, or cattle, that word for pay is shalom, right? It also means complete, right? So when it says, thou shalt have, let's get that real quick, actually. Wait. See if we can get that. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Weights. Perfect. See what we can find right here. Alright, that's Deuteronomy 25. So let's get that in blue letter. Salakia. Deuteronomy 25:15. Just so you see what I'm talking about. Let's get that. Alright. Deuteronomy 25:15. Right. Right. There it is. Shalom. Perfect. Right. So it says Aban Shalom Watazadak. Right. A stone, perfect and righteous. Right. Yahaya Laka will be to thee. Right. And I think that means measure, which is an epaph, and will be to thee an epaph, meaning a weight, perfect and righteous. Yahaya Laka Lamayan, and it will be to thee so that they may be prolonged. Ya'ar Ya Arayakwa Yamyaka, may be prolonged your days upon the earth. Al Ha-Adamah, Ashar Yahweh Alahayaka Nathan Laka, which Yahweh your power is given to thee. Right? So see? What does it say in the Hebrew lexicon? Whole, perfect. Right? Complete, finish. Right? Then you have some bugged out Ishmael doctrine. Masalam, meaning devoted to God, and to Muhammad, one who professes Mahometan religion. Right, bugged out. So it says, trying to look for the one that it says that Solomon completed the temple. Right, here it is. Now I reference this precept a few times during lessons, here and there. Right, Waha Bayath, Ba Habanathwa, right, and the house and its building, right, of stone, Aban, Shalamah, right, was complete. See, it says here made ready, but it really means complete. Right, before it was brought hither, right, Masai, right, meaning since the word is to pluck up, the root word, that is, which is, you read that in the law, pull up, pluck out, right? Just seeing if they put any other bugged out understanding. right? Right. So it says here before, right, Masai, meaning before it was, right, it journeyed, meaning, right, to be transferred or brought. Nabanai was built. Wama Kwabwath, right, and the hammer, right, and the axe, that's the word for axe. Karazan, Kalaya, or Salaki, let me read it. Makwabwath, right, and hammers, right, and axe. Waha Karazan, Kal, meaning all instruments. Kalaya, meaning instruments of iron. Barazal, La'a Nashamai, was not heard. Ba Bayath, in the house, right? Ba Ha Banathwa, in its building, right? So in essence, it's saying that right, the stone that was prepared ahead of time. Then it was transferred, right, into the house, right, so that neither hammer nor axe nor any tool of iron was heard in the house while it was building. So it was made and it was just, prepared in advance. But anyways, right, so Wama Shalom La Shana Yahweh Al Panyawa, right, and recompensing to those that hate him to their face. Waha Abayadwa, right? That word abad means to perish or to be lost, right? But here it means to destroy, right? Destroying them, right? La'a Ya'ahor, right? Meaning, right, he will not hinder, right? Because that word ahar means after, hindermost, or right, to hinder in the sense of right, he's not going to hinder judgment upon them, right? La'aya har shanawa, right? He will not hinder to those that hate him, right, to their face, al panyawa, ya shalom lawa, right, to recompense to them, right? So he's not going to hinder judgment upon those that hate him, right, to recompense them, right? So in a sense it says, and recompense and he recompenses and he recompense to those that hate him to their face, right, to destroy them, and he will not hinder, right, upon them. He will not hinder, right, upon them, right, to those that hate him, right, to their face. He will requite them. He will, right, recompense them, right, in a sense. Deuteronomy 7 and 11. Washamartha, right, Atha ha matazawa, right, you will keep to the command, right, to that which is commanded, right, because it doesn't say commandments, it doesn't say wath, right, Washamartha, right, Atha ha matazawa, right, and you will keep, right, to that which is commanded, Wa'ata ha-hakwayim, to the statutes, Wa'ata ha-mashapatiyim, to the ordinances, Ashar anakaya matazawa ka, hayawam, which I have commanded to thee today to do them. La aishawatam. Right? So it says, and you will keep to that which is commanded, to the statutes, to the ordinances, which I have commanded thee this day to do them. Wahaya Salakia. Just give me 1 second. Right, so verse 12 says, Wahaya Ikwab Dashamai 1 Atha, right? Meaning, Salakia. And it will be, right, to the end that you will hear to the ordinances, Ha Mashapatium, these, Ha Allah, right? Wa Shamartham, and you will keep them and do them. Wa Ashayatham, to them, Atham, right? Or Salakia, that word Atham is you, right? So you will keep them and do them, you, Atham, Washamar Yahweh Allahayaka Laka, and will keep, right, Yahweh, your power with thee, or to thee, to the covenant, Atha Habarayath, Wa Atha Ha Chasad, and to the loving kindness which he swore to your fathers, Ashar Nashabai La Abba Thayaka, right? Deuteronomy 7 and 13. Wa Ahabka Wa Barakah, right? And will love thee and bless thee, right? And multiply thee, Waha Rabka, Wa Barak, and blessed to the fruit of your womb, Pariah, meaning fruit. Batan Ka, the word Batan means womb or stomach, right? And he will bless to the fruit of your womb, Wa Pariah Adamathka, to the fruit of your land, right? Daganka, your threshing floor, right? Watha Yarashka, and to your new wine, right? Wa Yatazahar Ka, to your oil, right? Shagar Alapiaka, right? That word Shagar means fetus of cattle, right? Or you could say, right, fetus of, right, fetus in general just means fetus. To the fetus of your cattle, right? Because that word, right, alap means ox, right? But it's also a general term, right, for cattle, right? So you can say the womb of your cattle, right? Or the fetus of your oxen, right? But generally it just means the womb of your cattle, right? Wa Aisha Tharath, right? And the riches of your flock, Taza'an Ka, Al Ha'adamah, upon the earth, Ashar Nashabai, which he swore to your fathers, La Abba Thayaka, to give to thee, Lathath Laka, right? So we're gonna analyze a few of these words, right? Deuteronomy 7, right? see what this says. Where the hell is it? Alright, first word is what? Batan. That's pretty simple. Just means stomach or womb. Raham also means womb, but in a figurative sense. Raham just means wide, right? Actually, let's get that. Wide. Actually, I'm bugging because I was thinking something else. Rahab, that means wide. Salakia, bugging. Right. Let's analyze the other word for womb, Raham. Right, which is actually means mercy. Right, but is also used figurative for womb because that is denotes mercy or right compassion, which is right in the sense of here, let's get that. By extension, the womb is cherishing the fetus, right? Right, so you have, for example, the kidneys are known figuratively as the man, I read this a while ago. Let's just look it up. Kidney, right? So the womb is known as the organ where of mercy, right? Where the seat of mercy, whereas the kidneys is denoting, right, in a poetic sense, that is kidneys. Figurative of a seat of emotion and affection, right? Because you got two kidneys, right? It's kind of emotions are kind of, double unto themselves, right? Which is why the scriptures say, right, right, the heart is deceitful, right? Because your emotions, right, you run off of your emotions, which is not thinking with your mind, your lab, which is your mind. You're really thinking off the fleshly organs, right? Two different things that are contrary to each other, right? So that is why Raham is, right, figuratively known as the womb, but it's not. Just to know it in a poetic sense, right? But anyways, that word is kalaya, right, which is literally kidneys. Which is a derivative of kalaya, meaning instruments or instrument, and kala, meaning to complete, right? Complete instrument, because that's all the kidneys are. They serve a function, right? It's not really that deep. So pariah means fruit. Dagan, threshing floor, right? Which is right, also known as corn, right? Dagan. So a lot of people say dagan is fish, but it's daga. Dagan is actually corn, or corn floor, threshing floor. which is where you get the word daga. Or Salakia, let me get that word threshing. Thresh. Right? Salakia. Dagan, threshing floor. Right? So you could say corn in this verse, but really it's talking about your threshing floor, because you can get wheat, you know, they're speaking in a general sense, right? And dagan just means to thresh, right? Dagan, a level place, threshing floor, right? Arabic, it says garan, meaning stone basin, trough, mortar, meaning to smooth a threshing floor, right? So that's all that it means, right? You got a few different words. An open place before the gates of cities, right? Which is from right to left. The Arabic says Magaran, Garayan, Garan. Right, so threshing floor, threshing floor, threshing floor, right? Corn. Let's look at corn. So this is how you kind of, you know, stir up your mind by ways of remembrance, right? Abayab, which just means green ears. It could be of corn or it could be of any greenery. So it doesn't mean corn, right? Bar, corn, wheat. Garage, beaten corn, right? Right, let's look at bar, right? So it's not just one way to say corn, but generally it's dagan, corn or threshing floor. It's denoting either or, right? That's it really for that. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 7. Right? So let's see what else we got right here. Salakia. See where we're at. Salakia. Alright, next word. Right? New wine. Right? Because wine is yayan. Right? Salakia. Here it is. But that word Dayarash, that literally means new wine, right? For example, you have right, a vineyard, which is karam, right? A wine, mayanyan, right? And you could take it out and it's ready to be pressed, so you press it, right? Right? Or you crush it, right? The word for crush is dak, right? Or tabai, that means to press down, right? And then you have what? Fresh wine, new wine, right? Which is newly made, or what was pressed out of the presses. Tayarash, right? That's all that it means. It's from the word yarash, right? In the sense of right, when you enter a land, you take possession of it, right? You have new wine, you drink it, you know, it kind of like gets you intoxicated. So it's strong because it's right, like it says here, new wine because it intoxicating takes possession of the brain, right? Because it is strong and, you know, not like the wine nowadays, which is diluted. Fresh new wine, right? So there you go, Yarash. Let's look at Slovakia. Trying to get to these as fast as possible because we still have 26, verse 26. Right. About 13 more verses left. Yarash, Yatazahar, right? Shagar is pretty simple, right? I explained what that is. Alap, that's pretty simple. Oh, Alap also means chief, right? Tazaan, flax, right? But this is the last one right here. Oil, which is really shaman. Literally means oil. But this is Tazahar, right? To shine, right? Which is you compare with the word gold, which is zahab, right? Which taza and za are interchangeable because the word for cry out, it's taza'ak, but in other parts of the Torah it's written as za'ak, right? In a sense, crying out for please, pleading to the Lord, making your plea, right? Supplication, right? So, right, Tazahar, to shine, compared to Zahab, or Tazahab, which sounds similar if you just replace the Za with the Taza. Fresh oil, right? Shining, pure, product of light. Anointing oil, it's not what it's talking about. Because anointing oil is mashak, meaning to anoint, and oil is shaman. Tazahar, like the kindred verbs zahar, mahar, or tahar, meaning pure, you see? Tazahal, tazaha, right? Or Arabic says ta'ahar, or tahar, to come forth, to reveal oneself, to be pure, right? See what else we got. All right. Press oil, glisten. Did I click on that already? I think I did. Yatazar. Yeah. Let's look at Tazahar. I think that's the same one we just looked at. Right. So let's analyze some of the texts. Right. Which make oil within their wells. That's what I was talking about. Let's look at one of these for Yatazahar. Right. Best of oil, thine oil, 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 oil. So again, it's not oil, it's figurative for oil, right? Slovakia. Let's look at the word noon, right? Just so you see what I'm talking about. Tazahar, see that? Right? So noon, light. Thou shalt make light for the ark, right? Tazaharium midday, noon, right? The Arabic says ahar, ahar, to do at noon, midday, right? Let us go up against foes at noon, na'ala ba tazaharium. Let us ascend upon noon, midday, noon, dual, double light, noon, midday, noon. Let's click on this, see what we get. Might lead us back to the same Strong's Concordance we read earlier. Yep. Alright, now check this out. Genesis 6:16, a window thou shalt make to the ark, right? Salakia. Genesis 43:16, these men shall dine with me at noon, noonday, noon, midday, noon, right? Noonday, noonday. Right, noonday, right? So the reason why Genesis 6:16 says that a window thou shalt make to the ark, right? Check this out. Tahar means pure, right? You can even say, right? So noonday, right? Tazahar, Ta'aisha, La Thaba, right? Which means ark. This doesn't literally mean ark, right? Ark means a chest, meaning, right, like the covenant of the ark. I believe that's R1, just means a chest or a coffin. But this means an enclosure, right? So window you should make, a window that shall make, right? Wa'al ama, right? And which is cubit. And to the cubit you shall finish it from above, right? Wa'al ama kalana, mal ma'ela, from above. Wapatha, in the door of the ark. Ha'thaba, batazad, upon the side, right? Tashayim, you will place it. Tachathium, under, right? The second, right? Meaning the second level. Shanayim, and third level, right? Wa Shalashium, you will make to it. So essentially, right, the ark, the window is made and a cubit above it, right, was the roof, right? The door of the ark was on the side of the ark, right, with 2 stories below it, right? But this word for tahar is not tazahar. It doesn't mean window literally. It just means like where pure light would go in, right? Just like the word tahar, right? Which is why noon is known as tazaharium, because in the noonday, back in the when there wasn't electricity, you would return to your house, right, to do whatever business. You would light a candle, right, upon oil and a wick, right? And you would it would give out pure light, right? Which is through the oil, right? Which is why this all has to do with oil, light, or window, or noonday, because at noonday you would do these things and produce pure light besides the light that is outside, right? So if I lost you, just you'll get it, once you study, just keep grinding, just because I don't want to sound proud, because I kind of, I didn't get it right away either. Nobody's supposed to get it right away. Right? So yeah, that's what it means. Right? Let's go back to 13. Right? So verbatim it says, and will love thee, and will bless thee, and will multiply thee, and will bless to the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, your threshing floor, your new wine, your oil, the womb of your cattle, the riches of your flock upon the earth, which had swore to your fathers to give to thee. Right? Now the last word we're going to analyze is wa ashathar, ashatarath. Right? Which is really ashatar atha. Now there's no atha, but that's how you would say it. Ashataratha. Ashataratha. Atha. 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 Right? Just like a quick tha. So let's get that. Deuteronomy 7. Salakia. Bear with me. Salakia. I clicked on too early. Deuteronomy 7. Right? Let's see what we got right here. 13. Alright, so it says, you flock increase young, right? Which the root word is Ishar, right? Doesn't mean any of that. It just means, right? Ishar means 10, right? Which is 10 represents completion, right? 7 represents perfection, Shabai. But the word Ishar also means riches, right? To be rich. Right, which is where you get the word ashar, meaning to be contentful. Right, you have worldly riches and you have spiritual riches, which is wisdom, which should be, which is compared unto fire and gold. Right. Right. So all these words, right, and I think that's what's that, bashar. Right. So it's kindred to the words Ishar, Bashar, Ashar. Right. Ishar, to build up, to erect. The Arabic says Ishar, to put together, join together. Right. That's like it. Ashara. Right. Without those little 3 dots, that's Sa, Asar, which is, that's not what it says on there. Salakia. Alright, so it just means riches, right? You see? And I explained it, right? 10, completion, contentful, right? Ashar, contentful. It's all one big puzzle. You just have to rewire that understanding in your head. It's easier than you think, right? Right? And the riches of your flock, right? Which is why Asha the Wrath, right? So you don't necessarily have to separate the word that is being said there, because you kind of understand, right? It's already distinguished that it's either talking about 10 or riches. Anyways, let's kind of see if we can speed through the rest of this. Verse 14, Barak Thahaya, Barak Thahaya Makol Ha'amayim, blessed you will be of all of the peoples, right? La'a Yahaya Baka, and there will not be upon thee barren Iquar, Wa Iquara. So barren male and female. So the ha at the end makes it feminine. Waba Bahamath Ka, right? And upon your livestock, right? So that word Iquar, it just means barren, right? In other instances, right? So like it. I know this may be a lot to take, but just so you see what I'm talking about. Shit, it's like it. Barren, Iquar. Right, you got barren, sterile, barren, same thing. Alright, see what we can get some precepts on this. Kind of try to speed through this. Barren. Alright, let's look at this other Strong's Concordance. Right? To root out, to pluck up. Right? Which is, right? In the sense of rooting out, you pluck up a plant. You just root it out. Right? That's where that, right? So Iquar doesn't literally mean barren, but most of the time it's used to signify barren, right? But that's not the literal sense. The literal sense is to root out, right? You pull out a plant, you root it out. Take it out by the roots. The word for root is sharash, right? Under self-will, they rooted out a wall. Thou shalt root out their horses, right? Root out. A time to be born, a time to die, time to plant, a time to root out that which is planted. That's from Ecclesiastes 3 and 2, right? So there you have it. Iquar. So like verbatim it says, blessed, right? So that word Barak, meaning blessed. Thahaya, the tha meaning it's denoting you, right? Like a tha, but it's a shortened way to say it. Thahaya, you blessed you will be from all the peoples, right? Or Salaki, verbatim, blessed you will be from all, right? From all the peoples, right? There will not be upon thee barren male or barren female, and upon your beast. Neither upon your beast, right? That's what it's really saying, right? Deuteronomy 7 and 15. Waha Sayor Yahweh Mamka Kal Halaya, right? Sawar means to turn back. We'll turn back Yahweh from thee all sickness, right? Chal, halaya, right? The word hal means sickness. Wakal, madawaya, and all diseases, right? That's what that word means. Let's look at the root for that word. I believe it's mada, or madawai, madawa. Madawa, right? Disease. And I believe the root, the rationale behind that is it's denoting languishing, right? Sickness, to languish, right? Right, so it means disease. Or if you want to get technical, of languishing, which is disease, right? Madawaya, right, that makes it plural. All sicknesses, halaya, the ya at the end makes it plural. And diseases from Egypt, ha-rayim, right? Now rai means painful, evil, or raya, neighbor, right? Or shepherd, right? So on and so forth, right? But here it's talking about the disease is painful, right? Which you knew, right? Matazarium, harayim, ashar, yadaitha, right? Does it right? So I'll read it. You'll get the point when I read the whole thing, right? He will not place, right? La'ah means do not. Ya meaning he, shawam or shayam means to place, right? Ya shayamam, right? He will not place upon thee, baka, wa nathanam, and he will place them upon all those that hate you. Bakal shanaya ka, right? So it reads, and he will turn back Yahweh from thee all sicknesses and all diseases, right, of Egypt, painful, which you knew. He will not place them upon thee, and will place them upon all of them that hate thee. Wa kalath atha kal ha mayim ashar Yahweh, and you will consume to all the peoples with Yahweh your power alahayaka Nathan laka la'a tahawas, right? Right. So, and you will consume to all the peoples which Yahweh your power has given unto thee, right? You will not pity, right? The word hawas means pity, right? Ayanka, your eyes, right, upon them. Alayaham. Wala'a, ta'ibad, you will not serve, right, to their gods. Atha, alahayaham. Kaya, makwash, right, because it will be a snare. Hawa, laka, that is unto thee, right? So it says, you will consume to all the peoples which Yahweh your power has given unto thee. You will not pity, right, your eyes upon them, and you will not serve to their gods, because it will be a snare that is, right, because it be a snare unto thee, right? Kaya the Amar Balababka Rabium Hagawayim, because you will say upon your heart, much great more are these people, are the people these, ha'Allah, than us, ma manaya, ayaka, ayaka, meaning how thus, right? Because ayah means where, ka means thus, right? But ayaka, right? Right, if you want to, right, get technical, it means where thus, right, or how thus, because ayah means where. Where thus shall we consume, right, to possess them, right? A call, laha, rashayim, or salaki, laha, rayasham. So it says, because you say upon your heart, more are the people these than us. Where thus shall we be able to consume, to possess them? Meaning, where is this type of help going to come from, right? But you know, if you don't want to be too technical, you can just say, because you say upon your heart, much are the people these than us. How thus shall we consume them? Consume to possess them, right? Because possess and dispossess, it just means you're going to possess, not them literally, but possess their localities, their land, right? Thus dispossessing them, because you're going to possess them, meaning their land. Verse 18, La'a Thayara Maham Zakar, right? You will not fear of them, right? Surely you will remember to that which it did, Ashar Asha, Yahweh Allahayaka, Yahweh your power to Pharaoh, La Paraya, Walakal Batazarium, into all Egypt, right? So you will not fear them, right? Surely you remember to that which did Yahweh your power to Pharaoh and to all of Egypt, right? See how many verses we got left. 26. All right. Ha Masath, Ha Gadalath, Ha Masath, Ha Gadalath, Ashar Ra'awu, Yanyaka, right? The trials great, which you have seen with your eyes, Waha Athath, right? And to the signs, Waha Mapathium, to the wonders, right? Wahayad Ha Hazak, right? And the hand strong, right? Wahazarai Hanatawaya, right? And to the hand outstretched, Ashar Hataza'aka, which he brought thee out, Yahweh your power, Yahweh Allahayaka, Khan Ya'aisha, so he did, Yahweh Allahayaka, the Lord your power, Lakal Ha'amayim, to all the peoples, which you saw, or which you fear from before them, right? Ashar Atha Yara'a Mapanayaham, right? So it says, the trials great, which you had seen with your eyes, and the sign, wonders, and the hand strong, the arm outstretched, which he brought you out, Yahweh your power, right? Because he did, so he did, the Lord your power, to all the peoples, or Salakia, so he will do, Yahweh your power, to all the peoples, which you fear before them. Wagan Atha Hatazariah Yashalak Yahweh Allahayaka, and even, right, right, to the word Tazariah means, it just means dread or fear, right? Salakia. Waga Matha Ha Tazariah, right? And even, right, to fearfulness, right? He will send out Yahweh, your power, Yahweh, Yashalach, Yahweh La Hayaka, Bama, right? Upon them, Ad Abad Na Sha'arim, Hana Sha'arim, even till they perish, right? Which is what remains, right? Waha Nasatharium, right? Meaning to hide, right? Sathar means to hide. And those that are hiding, right? Those that remain, they will hide from before thee, mapaniyaka, or from before your face, right? So it says, and even to fearfulness will he send out Yahweh your power upon them, right? Even till they perish, even till they perish, and there remain the remnant of them, they will hide from thee, right? La'a ta irat taza, which is the same word you read here, tazarai. It's just interposed, right? Just reversed. Maybe a scribal error or something of that sort. You know, because you have in the law, the word for clothing is shalama, or shalama, which is the words are just interchanged, but it just might be a scribal error, but it means the same thing. So you would not fear from before them, Apanayaham, Kaya Yahweh, because Yahweh your power is in your midst. Makorab Ka, a power great and fearful. Al Gadal Wa Nara'ah, right? Wa Nashal Yahweh Alahayaka, right? Right. And will put off Yahweh your power, right? To the nations, Atah Hagawayim, Ha'al, these, Mapanayaka, from before thee, Mayat, little by little, right? They will not be able, La'ah, that will call, right? Kalatham, right? Meaning to consume, right? To consume them, right? The root word is kala. Technically, it means to complete, right? Because that word thumb, it's used to finish or to destroy, just like kala, consume or to complete, right? That word tawakal is the root is yakal, to be able, right? Mahar, quickly. Pan, tharabah, lest they multiply upon thee, layaka, chayath, hashadah, the living of the field, right? Or in a sense, the beast of the field, right? So it says, and will put off Yahweh your power to the nations, these from before your face, little by little, right? He will not consume them, or Salakia, and will put off Yahweh your power to the nations, these from before thee, little by little, right? He will not consume them quickly, lest they multiply upon you, right? The living of the field, right? Wa Nathanam Yahweh Lahayaka, right? And will place Yahweh your power, right? Lapanayaka, before thee, right? Will place them, Yahweh your power, before thee, right? Meaning the nations, right? Wa Hamam, right? And surely, right, hama, right? And surely they will be disquieted, right? Because that word hama, it just means to disquiet, right? But here it's saying, they're going to be, right, in panic. Gadol al ha shamadam, right? They will be disquieted greatly, even till they be made desolate, right? So it's saying, and will place to the Lord your power, place them before your face, and surely they will be disquieted greatly until they be made desolate. Wa Nathan Malakyaham Bayadka, right, and will place to their kings in your hand. Waha Abadath, right, and he will cause thee to perish, right, Atha Shamam, to their name, Matachath, from under the heavens, Hashemayim. La'a Yataza Slakia, La'a Yatha Yatazab, right? They will not stand, right? Because that's what that word tazab means, right? Imad means to stand, but yataz means to stand, right? In the sense of something standing up, like a pillar. Just means to stand, also. Right? They will not be able to stand. La'a yatazab, right? A man ayash from before thee, ba panayaka, even ad ha shamadka, right? Even till you make desolate to them, atham, right? So verbatim it says, and will place their kings in your hand, and you will cause to perish through their name from under the heavens. They will not stand a man before thee, even till you make them desolate, till you make them desolate, right? Even till you make desolate to them, right? Either or. So just says, will place to their kings in your hand, and right, you will cause their name to perish from under the heavens. They will not be able to stand a man from before thee, right, even till they be desolate. Pasayalya Allahayahum Ta Sharap 1, right? Their sculptured things, the sculptured things of their gods, you will burn upon fire. Ba'ash La'a Tachamad, you will not covet. Kasab, silver and gold, Wazahab, which is upon them. Alayham Wala Quatha Laka, and take to thee, right? You will not take to thee the silver or gold. Pan Takwash, lest it be a snare, right? Bawa, right? Right? Lest you be snared upon them, right? Because that tha means you, quash means snare, lest you be snared upon them, right? Bawa. Kaya the Ibath, because abhors Yahweh your power, because it is an abomination to Yahweh your power. Kaya the Ibath Yahweh Lahayaka Hawa. Right? So Pasal means a sculptured image. Right? So it says, the sculptured things of their gods you will burn upon fire. right? You will not covet the silver and gold which is upon them, and take them to thee, right? Lest you be snared upon them, because it is an abomination, right, to the Lord your power, that is, right? Wala'a tabaya ta aiba, right? You will not bring in, right, an abomination to your house. Al bayatka salakia. Wahaya yatha, right? And it will be, right, to you, haram, right? Meaning, and you will be, haram means to ban, right? And you will be banned like it, kamawa, right? Because that word haram means to ban, something prohibited, right? Or to be, right? Because you could get, right? In those days, you would have got stoned, or you would have got, cut off from the camp, from Israel, right? But here you probably, doesn't say, but you probably get destroyed, right? And you will be banned like it, right? Because those things were not allowed. The golds of idols and silver of idols, right? Shaquats, right? Surely you will detest ta shaquat tazanawa, right? Because that's what that means. Shaquataza. It means to detest. Another name for idols, because you were to detest idols, right? Wa ta'aiba, you will abhor, right? And surely you will abhor wa ta'aiba ta'aibanawa. Surely you will abhor to them, right? Kaya haram hawa, right? Because banned it is, right? Or in a sense of it is it's something Salakia, trying to think of the word, because it is not permissible, right? So it says, and you will not bring in an abomination to your house, right? Or Salakia, you will not bring an abomination to your house, right? Or else you will be banned like it, right? Meaning you'll be cast out, or the sword will have to be lifted up upon you, right? Which is either be stoned, right, for enticing other people to commit adultery, like it says Deuteronomy 13, right? Or whatever the judges decide, right? Lest you be banned like it, right? Surely you will detest to them, right? And surely, right, you will abhor them, because it is not permissible, right? Essentially, that's what it says, right? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 7, right? Going into the Hebrew. Lord, when you ratified, giving honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Hawakakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom, Kwame Asha Allah, Abad Bal Shalom.